How's it going, everybody? Take a look. You can see all my gear on. Yes, I do have prescription glasses built in to my mask. Is that cool or what? So this is kind of a quick view so you can kind of see what it is and how I look when I'm operating inside of this boat. As you can imagine, we got all kinds of things. We got mold, we've got mildew, we've got fiberglass, we got all kinds of stuff just lingering around inside of this boat. And as we start exposing stuff that's been in this boat for, I don't know, since 1994, I'm assuming it hasn't been rebuilt since then. You just got to be careful. So, like I said, I've got the right type of cartridges here. You can see I've got my ear protection on because I'm using that oscillating tool a lot, and that thing is loud. And then also, you can see I've got my Tyvek suit on too, and gloves. This stuff is real nasty. I've seen people rebuilding boats and they're not taking the time to protect themselves, and I'll tell you what, it's not worth it. You won't be able to enjoy your boat in the long term if you're laid up in the hospital. So keep that in mind as you're working on your boat here. Quick shot, like I said, I'm fully covered and making sure I'm protecting myself. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our oscillating tool here, and we're first gonna cut all the way over here, and then all the way across. Then we're gonna go up, so we terminate at the same spot here on the deck. You're gonna peel back this fiberglass, and you'll notice down below it's pretty well rotted. That's normal. And then we want to remove the wood so we can expose the foam behind it. This is good. Believe it or not, this is actually really good closed cell foam. Really impressed with that. The good thing with closed cell foam is it actually removes easier. All right, so fast forward now. We've done all that. You can see, right? We cut all the way up here, and you can see where the wood was rotten, and then about maybe a third of it was rotten up forward. You would think, right, maybe we could keep the forward section, but I don't. To be honest with you, I want 100%, because what's the point of putting all this work in here and you've got rot? So yeah, fortunately we're still going to continue north. I mean, hey, I may cut a little bit further forward and find the deck is good. Hey, if that's the case, cool. We'll cross that when that bridge when we get to it. All right, so you can see the section. We cut both sides, and we cut along the floor here. The next step is you're going to want to get your tool under here so you can kind of wedge up. Now what I did is I worked the tool all the way down here, loosening the bottom. Now I've got a blade, I got this from Home Depot. It's a double-sided blade. They use it to cut ductwork for AC people. And yeah, it works pretty good with cutting foam. It's got a serrated side on one end and then the sharp end on the other. So I just used it to cut along this side, and then very carefully kind of worked this piece up. Check it out. If you're lucky like me, you'll be able to remove the foam in huge, large sections. What's gonna be nice for you is because there's so much water, well, maybe not. In my case, there's a lot of water trapped underneath here from the transom having been rotten for so long, and the floor has been filled with water underneath. So it makes it where it's easier to lift. This huge section came right off, no problem. here's what we're going to do next. Is we are going to continue cutting the foam off here, exposing the next stringer, which, as you can imagine, is pretty well rotten as well. Same thing. So next steps is just kind of work your foam out as we talked. You want to see if you can get underneath it and work it up. And that's going to be the methodology to start getting your foam out. And then as you have more foam out, you can cut along the edge with your stringer, and then you'll have access to the foam on this side. So that's pretty much how it's going to work. I'm going to continue on with this process all the way down here. Now somewhere along the line I'm going to start working on cutting out the bulkhead that encloses the gas tank. I'm going to do the same thing over here. We'll cut this stringer out, cut the wood, remove that, and then as you're doing this, try to keep your work environment really clean. It's going to make life easier for you. What's going to be a little tricky on this side is we have where the engine sits over here. Presumably the wood is still good in here. That's presumably, I don't know for sure. We still got to test it. So I'm going to cut along that edge and then see if we can remove it, and then I'll try to pop the foam out over there, and hopefully we can remove the rear section. Another trick is, it may be different on your boat, but just, you know, you need to be thinking like this as you're trying to remove various items without destroying things and making life hard for you. Is if I get this fuel tank out, number one, I'm more safe because I'm not sitting on however many gallons of fuel is in here. All right, that's a plus. And then I have access to cutting the stringer out on this side, thus removing the foam. So just little pointers here. I'm going to continue on with this. In the next video, you're going to see the fuel tank removed. And like I said, there's nothing to it. It's just held in with these 3 screws here and here. And we're going to get this fuel tank out. We'll remove all the foam. And we'll start progressing to eventually where we're going to start grinding some of these seams out. Let's go back to this spot here where you can see, look at this ridge. There's a lot of excess polyester resin in here. You can see it. That's going to have to be ground out. So try to limit your grinding to all in one day because it's going to be messy. You see how I made the cuts nice and flush to the side of the boat? Makes life very easy for you when it comes time to putting in your new stringers. All right, good times here. I hope you like the series as always. If you got questions, need some help with something, let me know in the comments field below. As always, like the video if you thought it was helpful. We'll see you in the next episode.